Hello, YouTube. So it's been a while, and it's really just because I've been trying to use like a new. Well, first off, it's because I've gotten really busy, and also I was trying to use like this new video uploading thing, and I'm having such problems. I had such problems with it. I just kind of gave up on it, and then also I have not been dressed. Like I literally didn't do my hair, and I didn't want to get on camera without any of that stuff. I'm still kind of rough, but I'm not as rough as I could be. But anyway, I'm just uploading this video because if you've watched my channel, like literally I make these videos as like a video diary. And I'm just hoping that if, it kind of gives me a way to talk about my issues and things like that. And also, if it benefits somebody, if it helps someone. Sorry, the TV is just so loud. Try to turn off the TV. I'm folding clothes, by the way. Well, hell, the remote right next to me. It's right next to me. Crazy. Yeah. Sorry, I'm watching Married at First Sight. It's one of my favorite shows. I don't know if you hear my daughter in the background. She's taking her bath. She's old enough, so. Anyway, not to take her own bath, but she's old enough to be left, in there for a little bit, play around with her toys. Anywho, it's been a while just because of all those things that I just mentioned, and also, if you've watched my channel, I upload these videos kind of like a video diary for me, for myself to kind of look back on and address my issues. It's kind of like a counseling point as well, or sometimes like an emotional, when you have to talk it out and you don't have anyone to talk to about it, so I use YouTube, videos to kind of, and then also if my self-evaluation helps someone else, then that would be great as well. So that's why I do it. And also I want to get used, comments, used to, people talk, having a discussion about what I've talked about, because if you don't know already, I believe that the Lord has called me to ministry, in the pastoral ministry. And I have not heard any negative as far as that's concerned, or if any no's. So that's my path in life, and I believe that doing these little YouTube videos will kind of help me to get out of my comfort zone, and just kind of like tackle, if anyone has questions, kind of get me into that mode. So anyway, that's my explanation. I'm making this video titled "The Trail of Tears," and I was really just sitting down thinking about I was really thinking about the relationships that I've kind of left behind me. My phone is dying while I'm trying to make this video. Anyway, kind of the relationships that I would kind of left behind me, and all the kind of the negative connotation that kind of comes with these relationships that I've had in the past. And I was just really sitting down thinking, like, man, I'm like the worst at relationships. And I was sitting down thinking, like, man, like I don't want to keep on having situations where I have to leave behind rough relationships and stuff like that. And none of my breakups have been like positive. They've all been negative breakups and stuff. So it's kind of been hard for me to deal with like relationships. I mean, it has all, my relationships have been bad, 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 bad. And I'm not going to sit here and, behave as though I'm like the perfect person. I was not the perfect person in my relationships, but I was also not the worst. They were just kind of really bad relationships. And I was just with people who were not on the you know, um, same wavelength as me, kind of not doing the same thing. A lot of my relationships were like hero dating. And I don't know if you've heard me say that in the past or in another video in the past. Like I have all these phones. Um, I've said it, I think, in other videos, why my relationships kind of end bad is because I see the faults, I see the issues. Not to say that I don't have issues, but I see the issues early on, but then like I kind of stay in it for comfort, not to be alone, and also to kind of help whatever issues that person has, and it's really caused such a problem in my own personal life and in my mental well-being and things like that. Not only that, now I have my daughter, so I have to be really careful who I date, and unfortunately, I still ended up dating, people who were not the best people for my child, and I feel so guilty about it and stuff like that. And then, not to mention the time that had been wasted, trying to pursue these relationships that were not godly or not going to be beneficial to me. So I was just kind of thinking, I'm just like regretting, like, God, like, why did I have to waste my time on, those type of relationships and things like that? Like, why did it have to go so bad? Like, I know people who, let me plug in my phone before this dies, because it's about to die. Okay. So I was just kind of sitting here thinking, like, God, why does my relationships always have to suck? Like, why does it have to be me, and everybody's moving forward, everybody's getting married and stuff like that? Why do mine have to suck? And I'm such a good person. I'm such a good person. Or at least I want to think that I'm a good person. And I try to do, the best that I can to, I guess, be a good person in my relationships. But it just never happens that way. It always sort of ends like in hell. It kind of ends like in fire and fury, and stuff like that. And I thought to myself, what if, like, in my journey as a, like pursuing, ministry, as a pastor, what if one day a relationship or somebody from my old past relationship comes up and, you know, in the I'm not conceited or anything. I don't know what the Lord has in store for me as far as ministry is concerned. But I always thought, like, what if I am preaching or teaching, a group of people, and, like, out of the group of people, an ex comes back and is like, hey, she was awful. She cussed me out. She was this, she was that. She fought me this and that, third, whatever. How would that look in my ministry? How would that look as a person? And then people will start to be like, oh my God, she's fake, she's phony, and she does this, she's done that. When I tell you, I've had the worst kind of luck with relationships, and they've all ended bad. Trust and believe, they've ended bad. And one day I'll make a story. I'll make one of the story videos and stuff, like, where I can possibly detail exactly what happened. I think that it's very important for me to be transparent, especially in the beginning, so that in the future no one can come back and say, "Oh, well, she was keeping this hidden, or she ain't as, holy." Even though I don't believe I'm holy, holy as we thought, whatever. Just to address the whole me not being holy and stuff. I think that I don't believe that I'm perfect, but I believe that there's a difference between people, you know, um, pursuing a life that is right or righteousness. For someone's pursuing righteousness versus someone who believes they are righteous, from their own actions or from their own, who they are and things like that. I'm somebody who is pursuing righteousness actively, and I make mistakes along the way, and I've never, said that I was perfect, but I also will never sit there and big up or glorify my sin or my downfalls. I'll never do it. I will never do it. I don't care what anybody else says. I've never done it and never will do it. That's one thing that people can say, is I've never sat there and said, "Oh, I'm perfect," or "I'm this and that and the third," and was struggling or drinking and stuff like that. But anyway, I just wonder in the future. I've just been so kind of like sad about certain situations, and like, you kind of get to thinking, like, will I ever get married? Will I ever find the right person? Will I ever this and that and third? And then sometimes I don't think about it. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm not worried about it. I'm going to pursue the Lord. But it definitely does get super lonely, and it gets super sad. You start to think, especially with the friends and your family around you who are, getting married or who are moving on with their lives, having these beautiful relationships, just kind of wonder like, man, like what, I don't deserve that. So it's just something that that's been on my mind. I don't know if anybody has any encouraging words for me. If you do, I would definitely appreciate it. Maybe there's a verse in the Bible, scripture that you can point me to, and hopefully, I'll be able to find them on my own. But anyway, I finished folding my clothes. Like me and my daughter's clothes. It's a little messy in here, but don't mind the mess. I fold my daughter's clothes and my clothes. Like when I fold clothes, it's super neat. I even fold like underwear and stuff like that. Like when I fold clothes, it's like a way of coping, like kind of like de-stressing, organizing and stuff like that. But anyway, if you have any good advice for me, Bible scriptures, it is definitely needed. For anyone who has watched or will watch or is watching, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. My channel, like I said, is just really real. It's really real. And I'll be talking about real things, my real life and stuff like that. I know a whole bunch of other people do it, but I guess this is just in pursuit of my purpose in life. And if you are pursuing ministry as well, and you have advice for getting started, oh please share your thoughts, like down in the comments, or you can message me or whatever. Thanks for watching. Bye. I don't know how to end